The silence in the ancient chamber was absolute, broken only by the scrape of tools against stone. Then, a gasp. As the last layer of earth was brushed away, it wasn't the expected bone or jade that emerged, but something else entirely. A figure, lying in eternal repose, completely saturated in a startling, vibrant crimson. Every inch of her, from the bones to the jewels, painted in the color of sacrifice and royalty. What's up, everyone? Today we're not just digging into history, we're uncovering one of the most vibrant and perplexing discoveries in Mayan archaeology, the tomb of the Red Queen of Palenque. And I guarantee by the end of this video, you will never look at ancient power, ritual, and the echoes of the past the same way again. If you're as fascinated by these forgotten stories and the incredible lives they reveal as I am, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss our next deep dive. All right, enough talk. Let's peel back the layers of time and descend into the heart of Palenque. The grandeur of Palenque. Before we delve deeper into the mystery of the Red Queen, we must first appreciate the stage upon which her story unfolded, the magnificent ancient city of Palenque. Nestled in the foothills of the Tumbala Mountains in the southern Mexican state of Chiapas, Palenque is a UNESCO World Heritage Site renowned for its breathtaking architecture, intricate artistry, and profound historical significance. Imagine standing in the heart of Palenque, looking across its central plaza. To one side, you would see the palace, a sprawling, interconnected complex of buildings, courtyards, and even a unique four-story observation tower. This was the administrative and ceremonial center, a place of power where the Maya aristocracy conducted their bureaucratic functions, entertained, and performed sacred rituals. The palace's walls were once adorned with painted stucco reliefs depicting masks, hieroglyphs, and religious scenes, hinting at the vibrant daily life and profound spiritual beliefs that permeated this ancient metropolis. Its ingenious water system, including an aqueduct that diverted the Otulum River to flow beneath the main plaza, demonstrates the advanced engineering capabilities of the Maya. Dominating the scene, and perhaps the most famous structure at Palenque, is the Temple of the Inscriptions. This towering stepped pyramid was not merely a temple. It was a funerary monument built specifically for King Pakal I, better known as Pakal the Great. Pakal, who ruled Palenque from 615 CE to 683 CE, oversaw a period of immense prosperity and artistic flourishing, transforming the city into one of the greatest Maya centers. His tomb, discovered in 1952 by archaeologist Alberto Luz Luyer, was an archaeological sensation, revealing a hidden stairway deep within the pyramid, leading to a lavish burial chamber. This discovery fundamentally altered our understanding of Maya pyramids, proving they could serve as mausoleums, much like the pyramids of Egypt. The Temple of the Inscriptions is also home to the second longest hieroglyphic text known from the Maya world, providing invaluable insights into Palenque's dynastic history and rituals. Adjacent to the monumental Temple of the Inscriptions stands another, slightly smaller pyramid, Temple 13. For decades, this temple remained less explored, overshadowed by its grander neighbor and the legendary tomb within it. Yet it was within the quiet, unassuming confines of Temple 13 that another extraordinary discovery awaited, one that would redefine our understanding of royal burials and the powerful women who shaped the classic Maya world. The discovery of a hidden tomb. The year was 1994, and the ancient city of Palenque was once again ready to yield one of its profound secrets. The humid air of the Chiapas jungle hung heavy, and the sounds of archaeological work echoed through the overgrown ruins of Temple 13.
Mexican archaeologist Fanny López Jiménez, a young and dedicated researcher, was engaged in what was considered routine stabilization work on the temple stairs. Her task was to clear away debris and reinforce crumbling sections, a methodical job that often yields little more than pottery sherds or minor artifacts. However, on April 11, 1994, an ordinary day transformed into a moment of groundbreaking discovery. As López Jiménez meticulously worked, she noticed a subtle anomaly, a small, almost imperceptible crack in the masonry, partially obscured by weeds and ancient rubble on the second level of the pyramid's substructure, approximately 2.8 meters above the plaza level. Curiosity, the archaeologist's most potent tool, compelled her to investigate further. Using a flashlight and mirrors to direct light into the narrow opening, she peered into the darkness beyond. What she saw was not more rubble, but a clear, unobstructed passage, about 6 meters long, leading into the heart of the pyramid. This in itself was unusual. Often such passages are filled with earth and stone, testament to ancient efforts to seal away the past. But this one was remarkably clear, inviting further exploration. The following day, López Jiménez and her team from the National Institute of Anthropology and History of Mexico began the painstaking process of removing the masonry blocking the entrance. What they uncovered was not merely a passage, but a series of corridors. The first led to another longer corridor, 15 meters in length, constructed of large limestone blocks. This second corridor was also free of debris, hinting at the care with which this hidden section of the temple had been sealed. As they followed this new path, it led them to a large, sealed door. The air grew heavy with anticipation. They sensed, with the intuition honed by years of working amidst ancient secrets, that something truly significant lay beyond. The team carefully made a small perforation above the sealed door, a strategic move to assess the chamber without fully breaching it. Threading a long-necked lamp through the opening, they cast light into the darkness, and what was revealed sent a jolt of excitement through the archaeological world. Inside, a perfectly vaulted chamber, measuring approximately 3.80 by 2.50 meters, lay before them. Most of its surface was occupied by a large, rectangular limestone sarcophagus. The chamber was pristine, undisturbed for centuries, and most strikingly, the sarcophagus itself, and indeed much of the visible interior, was covered in a startling, vibrant red powder. This was not a simple burial. It was a royal interment of immense importance. The second major sarcophagus discovery in Palenque, rivaling even Pakal's tomb in its archaeological significance. The mere fact of finding an undisturbed royal tomb of a woman was momentous, marking the biggest discovery in Mesoamerican archaeology in 40 years. The excitement was palpable. The discovery immediately led to intense speculation about the identity of the person within. Who was this regal woman, so meticulously entombed, and why was her resting place so strikingly, enigmatically crimson?
The moment the archaeologists glimpsed inside the burial chamber of Temple 13, they were met with a sight that defied expectations and ignited a fresh mystery. A world saturated in a brilliant, almost supernatural crimson. The sarcophagus, the bones within, and even the precious artifacts were entirely covered by a thick, startling red powder. This was no accidental staining. This was a deliberate, ceremonial application of pigment, immediately giving the entombed noblewoman her enduring moniker, the Red Queen. The substance, quickly identified as cinnabar, is a vivid, bright scarlet to brick red mineral, chemically known as mercuric sulfide. It is naturally occurring, usually found in association with volcanic activity. For the ancient Maya, and indeed for many Mesoamerican cultures, cinnabar was not just a beautiful pigment. It was a material imbued with profound symbolic meaning. Its intense red color was deeply associated with blood, a sacred substance central to Maya rituals and cosmology, and by extension, with death, rebirth, and transformation. Some scholars even suggest that its use in burials may have symbolized resurrection or a vital connection to the rising sun and the east. The sheer quantity of cinnabar found in the Red Queen's tomb was astonishing. Her entire skeleton was permeated with it, a testament to the extensive and careful application of the powder. This method of burial, where the deceased and their funerary goods were thoroughly coated, was not unique to Palenque, with similar cinnabar-covered skeletons found at other major Maya sites like Tikal and Copan. However, the Red Queen's tomb presented an exceptionally well-preserved example, offering an unparalleled window into this ancient funerary practice. The archaeologists faced immediate challenges. Cinnabar, while visually stunning, is highly toxic due to its mercury content. Ancient Maya miners and processors of cinnabar were likely aware of its dangers, as evidenced by the high levels of mercury contamination found in the soil and even in skeletal remains at various ancient Maya cities. Handling the Red Queen's remains required extreme caution and specialized protective measures to prevent exposure to the volatile mercury fumes. The vivid color, so striking at first glance, was a silent warning of the dangerous yet deeply revered substance that had preserved her for over a millennium.
Smooth, stable, male podcast. This deliberate and lavish application of cinnabar immediately signaled the extraordinary status of the individual within. Cinnabar was a rare and highly valued trade item, likely sourced from distant highland regions, making its extensive use in a burial a clear indicator of immense wealth, power, and prestige. Only individuals of the highest social status were afforded such an elaborate and symbolically charged interment. The red powder was more than just a preservative, it was a powerful statement, marking the deceased as someone of profound spiritual and earthly importance, embarking on a sacred journey through the underworld. The questions multiplied with the discovery of the red powder. Why this specific pigment? What precise rituals accompanied its application? And what did this vibrant, toxic cloak truly mean for the journey of the soul in the Maya cosmos? The enigma of the red powder deepened the mystery surrounding the woman herself, hinting at a powerful narrative awaiting decipherment, not through written glyphs, but through the very material of her eternal rest, and the profound questions it posed immediately turned towards the most tantalizing possibility. Who was this immensely important woman, interred with such unparalleled reverence? From the moment the tomb was opened, the question of the Red Queen's identity became paramount. The elaborate nature of the burial, the sheer quantity of precious cinnabar, and the significant number of accompanying grave goods all screamed of a person of extraordinary status. But perhaps the most compelling clue was the tomb's location itself. Buried within Temple 13, the Red Queen lay not far from Palenque's most famous ruler, Ix Pakal the Great, whose magnificent sarcophagus rests within the adjacent Temple of the Inscriptions. This proximity was far too significant to ignore. Immediately, a leading candidate emerged, Ix Tz'akbu Ajaw, the principal wife of Pakal the Great. Her name, which translates roughly to Lady Who Creates Order or Lady Who Rules, appears in Palenque's hieroglyphic inscriptions, identifying her as a pivotal figure in the royal court during Pakal's long and prosperous reign. She was the mother of his two successors, Kinich Khan Baalam II and Kinich Khan Joy Chitam II, making her a vital link in the dynastic lineage of Palenque. The idea that this grand, hidden tomb could belong to the revered consort of the city's greatest ruler was, for many, an irresistible and logical conclusion.
The circumstantial evidence supporting Tz'akbu Ajaw as the Red Queen was indeed compelling. Historical texts told of her death in 672 AD, a date that fit perfectly within the timeline suggested by the pottery and artifacts found within the tomb. Her royal status would certainly explain the lavishness of the burial, the precious jade, and the extensive use of cinnabar, a substance reserved for the highest echelons of Maya society. Moreover, the practice of interring royal family members in close proximity to one another was common among Maya elites, making the location beside Pakal's tomb a strong indicator of a spousal or direct familial relationship. However, the Maya, for all their detailed record-keeping in stone, rarely inscribed names directly onto the bodies or personal possessions within tombs, especially those of women. This meant that while the circumstantial evidence was strong, definitive proof remained elusive. There were no Red Queen glyphs, no explicit declarations of identity within the burial chamber. Archaeologists found themselves in a fascinating dilemma. They had discovered an exceptionally rich and well-preserved royal tomb, clearly belonging to a woman of immense power, but her exact name remained a whispered question, a challenge for both historical interpretation and scientific investigation. Alternative theories, though less prominent, did surface. Could she have been another high-ranking female, perhaps a sister or a powerful regent? Palenque's history included other influential women, though none as directly linked to Pakal's immediate royal lineage as Tz'akbu Ajaw. The sheer scale and opulence of the burial, however, consistently pointed towards someone at the very pinnacle of Palenque society. Someone whose final resting place had to reflect the profound importance of her life. The yearning to connect this mysterious woman to the legendary Pakal was palpable among researchers and the public alike. Such a connection would not only provide a name for the enigmatic Red Queen, but would also offer an unparalleled glimpse into the private lives and familial dynamics of Palenque's ruling dynasty. It would bring a tangible human dimension to the towering stone temples and intricate glyphs, transforming historical figures into individuals with emotions, relationships, and legacies. The identity of the Red Queen became a focal point for understanding the social structure, political power, and religious beliefs of classical Maya civilization, pushing archaeologists and forensic scientists to delve deeper into the secrets hidden within the cinnabar-stained bones. The stage was set for science to speak, to offer what history could not, to unravel the whispers from her very remains.
With the preliminary archaeological assessments complete and the tantalizing possibility of Queen Tz'akbu Ajaw on everyone's minds, the Red Queen's skeletal remains became the focus of intense scientific scrutiny. The bones themselves, though coated in the brilliant yet toxic cinnabar, held within them a wealth of information, a silent testimony to a life lived over 1,000 years ago. Forensic anthropology, the study of human remains in a legal or historical context, became the key to unlocking her story. The first crucial step was to determine the basic biological profile, sex and age at death. Careful examination of the pelvis and skull, key indicators for sex determination, confirmed that the Red Queen was indeed female. This finding aligned perfectly with the theory of her being a queen or high-status noblewoman. Determining age, however, was more complex. Analysis of dental wear, bone degeneration, and the fusion of skeletal elements suggested that she was approximately 50 to 60 years old at the time of her passing. This age range was remarkably consistent with the known death date of Queen Tz'akbu Ajaw, who, according to historical records, would have been in her late 50s or early 60s when she died in 672 AD. Beyond age and sex, the bones offered further insights into her health and lifestyle. Despite the effects of time and the cinnabar, researchers observed signs of advanced osteoarthritis in some of her joints, particularly in her spine, a common ailment for individuals of her presumed age in ancient societies. This indicated a life that likely involved some physical strain, though not necessarily hard labor, perhaps simply the wear and tear of aging. Her teeth, surprisingly well preserved beneath the cinnabar, showed minimal signs of decay, suggesting a healthy diet, likely rich in protein and low in fermentable carbohydrates, characteristic of the elite Maya who would have access to a varied and nutritious diet. There was no evidence of significant disease or trauma that would indicate a violent death or a prolonged debilitating illness. Her general health, aside from age-related wear, appeared robust for someone of her years. One of the most exciting avenues of research involved isotopic analysis. By studying the ratios of stable isotopes of carbon and nitrogen in her bones, scientists could reconstruct aspects of her diet over her lifetime. The results indicated a diet rich in maize and animal protein, consistent with the diet of the ruling elite of Palenque. More significantly, oxygen isotope analysis, which can reveal information about the water consumed throughout a person's life, suggested that the Red Queen had lived primarily in the Palenque region. This local origin further supported the theory that she was indeed the Tz'akbu Ajaw, a queen born and raised within the Palenque kingdom.
The ultimate goal, of course, was to confirm her identity through DNA analysis. Unfortunately, the very substance that preserved her so spectacularly, the cinnabar, also posed a significant challenge for DNA extraction. Mercury, a primary component of cinnabar, is highly damaging to organic material, including DNA. The extreme heat and humidity of the jungle environment, combined with the presence of mercury, meant that any recoverable DNA was highly degraded. While some mitochondrial DNA was eventually extracted, allowing for insights into her maternal lineage, it was insufficient for a direct comparison with the remains of Pakal or his sons, whose DNA was also degraded or unavailable for definitive comparison. This frustrating hurdle meant that while science could paint a detailed portrait of her life and physical characteristics, it could not, in this instance, provide the irrefutable genetic link needed for absolute confirmation of her identity. Despite the lack of definitive DNA evidence, the cumulative weight of the forensic evidence, her sex, age at death, healthy elite diet, and local origin strongly corroborated the historical and circumstantial arguments for her being Ix Tz'akbu Ajaw, the principal wife of Palenque's most celebrated ruler, Ix Tz'akbu Pakal the Great. Her existence, her lavish burial, and the scientific insights gleaned from her remains have deepened our understanding of the social structure, funerary practices, and even the daily lives of the Maya elite during the classic period. She offers a rare, intimate glimpse into the royal court of Palenque, providing a female voice in a narrative often dominated by male rulers. The discovery of the tomb of the Red Queen in Palenque stands as one of the most significant archaeological finds of the late 20th century. It peeled back layers of jungle and earth to reveal not just a burial chamber, but a profound testament to the power, artistry, and complex spiritual beliefs of the ancient Maya. The vibrant red pigment that coded her and her world served not only as a striking visual, but as a potent symbol of elite status, a connection to the sacred, and a powerful preservative that allowed her story to be told millennia later.
While the definitive inscription bearing her name remains elusive, the overwhelming confluence of archaeological, historical, and forensic evidence points to her being Ix Tz'akbu Ajaw, the principal wife of Palenque's most celebrated ruler, Ix Tz'akbu Pakal the Great. Her existence, her lavish burial, and the scientific insights gleaned from her remains have deepened our understanding of the social structure, funerary practices, and even the daily lives of the Maya elite during the Classic period. She offers a rare, intimate glimpse into the royal court of Palenque, providing a female voice in a narrative often dominated by male rulers.
The Red Queen, whether definitively named or forever known by the color that preserved her, has left an indelible mark on our collective understanding of this remarkable civilization. Her tomb underscores the sophistication of Maya funerary rites, the belief in a journey through the underworld, and the meticulous care taken to ensure a powerful transition into the afterlife. It highlights the enduring power of material culture to communicate stories across vast stretches of time, allowing us to connect with individuals who lived in a world so different, yet fundamentally human. Her legacy extends beyond the academic. She has captured the imagination of people worldwide, becoming a symbol of the enduring mysteries and untold stories that still lie hidden beneath the jungles of Mesoamerica. The enigmatic Red Queen of Palenque remains a powerful reminder that even in the absence of explicit names, the past can speak to us through the whispers of bones, the silent language of artifacts, and the vibrant hues of a forgotten pigment. She continues to inspire further research, challenging archaeologists and scientists to refine their techniques, to listen more closely to the faint echoes of history, and to uncover more of the incredible narratives that await discovery in the heart of the Maya world. And so, in the silent, cool embrace of her sarcophagus, the Red Queen of Palenque continues her reign. Her name may be a whisper carried on the ancient winds, but her presence is undeniable. She is more than just a collection of bones and jade. She is a powerful, tangible link to a world long vanished, a human story preserved in cinnabar and stone. She reminds us that history is not solely found in grand monuments or king lists, but often in the intimate details of a life, in the choices made for a journey into the afterlife, and in the enduring power of human belief. The Red Queen stands as a sentinel of the past, beckoning us to look deeper, to listen more intently to the narratives etched not only in hieroglyphs, but also in the very earth beneath our feet. She is a testament to the fact that even without a definitive name, a life can resonate across millennia, teaching us about ambition, devotion, and the timeless desire to leave an indelible mark upon the world. Her legacy is one of enduring mystery, profound discovery, and the quiet, persistent voice of a forgotten queen speaking to us through the vibrant hues of time.
Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of the Maya world and into the remarkable story of the Red Queen. If you found yourself captivated by this tale, please consider subscribing to Whisper Veil for more stories from the forgotten corners of history. And if you're ready for another journey, we invite you to explore our video on the mysterious collapse of the Maya civilization,